Movie to Read, episode 65. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Cheers.
We have a guest with us today.
A special guest, Kevin from Satan's Realm, right?
Got it, yes.
I was calling it Satan's Revenge. It's not that.
That's a cool name, though, too.
Yeah, no, I like Satan's Realm. Obviously, Satan, like the gluten Satan, that's the plan,
Yes.
right? Okay. So, yeah, he's got a new food truck?
Yes.
Okay. Coming out, and so we are going to talk to him tonight about his vegan life journey, where you came about this food truck idea, and that whole business. So, welcome.
Thank for
If we
having
had
me.
Some applause.
sound
Yeah, I'll put some
in
in
the
there.
background or something.
I'm the sound guy too.
All right. Well, Kevin, let's get into it. So, you from Columbus?
I am from Columbus, yes.
Okay. And when did you become vegan? I guess that's the biggest
So
question.
it's the first question.
Yeah.
Hey, wait, your truck is vegan, right?
The
Yeah.
truck is absolutely, yes, 100% vegan.
We will reiterate this, but go follow him on Instagram, Satan's Realm Instagram. The food that what's that? The Arby's sandwich.
Oh,
Yeah.
beef and cheddar.
The beef and cheddar. Yes.
That was like crazy because I don't think I've never seen that before.
And that was my
It was like shaved.
all-time
Yes.
favorite carnivore
I've
fast
never-
food sandwich I ate. I probably had 150 of those in my life.
I've never had Arby's in my life.
Oh my god, it was so good. I used to make them I used to cook at a restaurant in high school, and we would make them at the restaurant. We liked it so much.
Yeah, that's awesome.
With like it's like Cheese Whiz.
Yeah,
You know?
absolutely. Yes.
How do you do that? Before we get to why you're vegan, that picture.
Yes.
Let's just talk about that picture.
So I'm glad you brought that picture up because on Instagram, that's like the absolute most I think probably over 5,000 people have like viewed it, liked it, looked at it. And I was like, oh,
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I was telling you guys before we
Yeah.
started, I was like really thinking it'd be really cool if about 50 people show up to the truck.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be super awesome. Like we'd have this thing rolling. It'd be great. And now I'm getting a little bit nervous for opening day.
Look,
very, very nervous.
to be honest, Tofu Louie, Eric was
Have you
on.
met him?
Okay. I haven't, but I've seen his work, and
He's
he
ridiculous.
looks. Oh my god! I don't know how he
Very
does it.
creative.
Yeah.
He's like a
Like-
scientist of
Absolutely.
food.
Yeah.
Yes. Super jealous. Yes.
But he's had a couple events that I know he was like, oh, I thought only like this many people would show up, and it was triple that. Like vegans,
Yeah.
unite. Like
Exactly.
they're like,
Yeah, he does like we from Columbus. Was it the Jazz and Rib Fest?
Yeah, I don't
He had his own.
Okay.
And it
Oh yeah,
was-
he had a vegan jazz,
and they had jazz
rib.
music, and
It was super cool. It was at Porsche's.
yeah, but we were
Okay.
in line for like a couple hours. By the time we got in there, it was insanity.
Yeah.
But he was again like,
So you're gonna have that.
hopefully, yeah.
You gotta prepare for that.
We'll do our best
Yeah.
to help get your word out there.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, like that whole thing, I think, is what really I feel like helped really launch us too, is the beef and cheddar. Like
Yeah.
I really wanted to. That was the whole thing with joining like the vegan Columbus scene. Like I really wanted to do something that was different, and I was like, what can really kind of set me apart? And I kind of really started looking at regular fast food places and things like that. So you got like Burger King, Wendy's, like you got your burger
Right.
joints and stuff, which are super awesome.
Yeah.
Not bashing those at all, but I was like, where can I
Yeah.
really kind of like find my little niche at? I was
Yeah.
thinking every time I drive past any kind of a stop or anything, I always see an Arby's there.
Uh-huh.
There's always maybe there might be something there for it. So, I thought maybe we can go some, roast beef. Let's try it out. Let's see what happens. And I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
This thing kind of exploded, but I'm super excited about it. I'm really happy that everybody seems like they're really into
Yeah,
it.
so
better-
taste wise, people like it.
It better be good.
Yeah. No, So I obviously haven't eaten one in years.
Yeah.
So I've been vegan for probably about 8 years now.
Okay, and
going on 9.
why did you become vegan?
Okay, so
You get in that microphone. Don't be
I'm
shy.
getting straight up in the
Sorry.
microphone. Okay, no, it's all good. So what really got me into being vegan is, I've been around it for a long time. Like I was like a hardcore punk, way into it. That was always pretty big in the
Like
scene
a
and all that
straight
stuff.
edge-ish?
I was never straight edge. I will not claim straight
Okay.
edge, okay? But definitely a lot of friends were definitely straight edge. So I definitely knew a lot about vegan, but I still had that stupid mentality of just kind of why do you want to just eat leaves all the time, and
Yeah,
stupid stuff
yeah.
like that. I had that stupid kind of jock mentality about it. But what really changed me though, my wife has always been vegetarian, so we've always kind of had that around. And then the thing that really
nuts.
just the thing that blew my mind though was watching Forks Over Knives. I was like, oh my God, like
Those documentaries.
what in the hell have I been doing all these years? I did it
man.
completely wrong.
That's
Yeah.
the one that's the China study, right?
Dr. Esselstyn, yeah.
Yeah, so that's like the China study in a documentary.
Yes.
And that's what got me too. It was
No, yours was
it was
Cowspiracy.
Cowspiracy, but then I was driving back to New York for family for Thanksgiving. And I
Yeah.
was like, I gotta be able to defend myself. So
Yeah.
it's like, what's the biggest vegan book out there? And it was the China study. So that was the second thing. But
So you watched it and you were just a go? Like,
Yeah,
that was it?
absolutely. Like I went
Wow.
cold turkey after that.
Really?
Absolutely. I was
8
like,
years.
Yeah, I was like, wow, we've been doing this wrong like the whole entire time.
That's
so.
so. Was your wife vegan at that point?
She wasn't. No, she
So
was vegetarian as well.
Okay,
Yeah.
so she got on board as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Like it was really awesome too because when you do like such a lifestyle change like that, it's always
You
great
need
to have
your-
that support. And it was great.
You
We were
do.
both
Oh, yeah.
in sync on that.
We always talk about this. I always talk about it. That I guess that the food that I cook, because I know like he's gonna eat vegan, and like I make my kid, well, my 2-year-old, and then the 10-year-old too, I guess. But I make them eat vegan food, and if it was just me in the household, I'd be like making them food and then I would be eating like a chicken patty a night or something,
Yeah.
something stupid
Sure.
like that. But like I really go out of my way to make healthy food because I know that we're all gonna eat it. It's so much easier when you have that support.
yeah,
Absolutely.
So,
that makes sense.
that's exciting though. So wife and you, what's your wife's name?
My wife's name's Amber.
Amber?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. So you guys became vegan, and are you a chef?
No, I have zero chaining or anything. Like really, I was just kind of like screwing around like online, like looking for recipes and things like that.
Yeah.
I've been in like the food industry for probably about like the first 10 years of my life.
Okay.
And then like I kind of like went over. I do medical stuff now. I do medical billing. So
Oh, you do?
Yes.
So this is not your day job, right?
This is not a full-time
What
gig.
is your
Not
day
yet,
job?
right?
Right,
Medical
not yet.
billing?
Yeah.
Like you like hound down people? Are
Yes.
You like the
No,
collection agency?
I don't hound on people. So so we hound on like the insurance companies, like, pay me,
Oh.
man. Like, what's going on? Like, we got to get this
Okay.
stuff paid. So like that's what my main gig is right now.
Nice. Okay,
Yes.
and then the food truck's aside.
Food
Well, it's
trucks
funny.
aside.
So Lisa Beats Your Meat.
It's my main job, and that's
Yeah.
because I don't have another one.
But it comes from me going vegan.
Yeah.
My wife's vegan. I watched a documentary, and then she starts making me stuff that resembles meat, like the beef and cheddar.
Sure.
And doing a good job with it. And
I made
We
some
were-
chili.
Oh,
We
yeah,
talked
so
about this.
that's
I
another-
made 2 chilies. I made 2 white chicken chilies. One was vegan, one was not. And I was living with
one
another
for me
girl.
and one for her. Essentially, she would cook me non-vegan things.
I know
Okay.
what kind of little bitch I was. But anyways, I made these 2 chilies, one vegan, one not, and I was living with another girl at the time, and she and her boyfriend came home. I think they were a little drunk, and
A little high.
a little high. They smashed the vegan chili. And because they thought it was the regular chili, and they didn't think they were doing anything wrong, because I'm not going to eat that, obviously.
Right.
And then, like, I go to eat my white chicken chili, and I was like, guys, you ate my fucking chili. And they were like, no, we didn't. We ate the meat one, And I was like, no, you ate mine. And then, I don't know, somehow
But
from
then
that, the Lisa Beats Your
well,
Meat
no,
came.
then on the next day or a couple of days later, we were out for a walk, and I like to work on cars and stuff. So,
Okay.
and I will have some questions for you about that. But I was like, let's get a freaking truck. You're such a good cook, and we could have a vegan food truck. And it was just kind of a pipe dream.
Yeah.
And then,
It hasn't
but then
happened
we
yet.
always kicked around, what would we call this food truck? And then one day, Lisa Beats Your Meat made us laugh really hard. This idea.
Who came up with it anyway? That's such a great name.
I came up
He
with
did.
it, but then Lisa made a Lisa Beats Your Meat Instagram, thinking like someday if I have a food truck, and I'm like, I think that'll still be available, but scoop it up now.
Right.
And then I was like, just start putting pictures of your food on there, because she always asks me.
I just
"What
do
you-"
that because
she's like, what do you want to
you-
eat this week? And I'm like, I need like a menu.
Right.
'Cause-
It's just basically a menu for my husband. That's
yeah.
terrible.
But there's just so many people in the game now.
Paint all over you.
Oh,
Sorry.
yeah, painting today, but that it's, I don't know. You don't even need to get into it. We'll just
No, I don't
just
feel
eat
the
at
need
other
to
people's
compete.
stuff.
But like the Columbus vegan scene, so like you're bringing something different. This Arby's bacon cheddar, or not bacon cheddar,
Beef
what's-
and cheddar.
Beef and cheddar.
Yeah.
Oh, so what else do you have on your menu? I
So
feel
we-
like a gyro.
Yeah.
What else is
Gyro,
in-
gyro.
Let's talk about the name. You know,
Yeah.
where did that name come from?
So I absolutely love Seitan. There's so much different things that you can do with it. And I really wanted to pay homage to it, so I was like, Seitan's around, let's do it. So that's where it came up.
Like it's meet your meat. It's attention getting.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love vegans go hard with the marketing.
Yes.
Like they are not afraid to like make you be like, what? This makes me blush, you know?
Exactly.
Like, it's the best because it's like it comes from such a good, wholesome. Like I want you to eat more plants, you know? Like
Right.
how terrible is that? But like I'm gonna put such a spin on it that like is gonna make you think twice about it, you know?
Exactly.
I love it. So what else is on the menu?
So we have Philly cheesesteaks. We have Reubens.
What is on the Philly cheesesteak? What are you using? You use
Seitan,
Seitan.
Yeah,
But then
Seitan.
like your cheese sauce.
Yeah.
So that's like a white cheese sauce, right?
No. So
You
it's
use the regular?
Yeah, it's like a regular cheese sauce.
And how are you making that?
It's basically like used out of the Follow Your Heart cheese. The
Oh,
American.
okay.
So
okay, Follow Your
It's
Heart's
based
probably
off of that.
Okay, it's funny because I feel like vegans like Daya cheese. That was like the first I feel like one that was like, oh my god, it melts. Like that was like really exciting.
Right.
But I feel like Follow Your Heart, what's the other one? No, I think Follow Your Hearts is like what Mellow Mushroom uses.
Yeah.
I think that one's the best.
Yeah.
Especially
Like, out
for
of them.
for melting.
Yeah, Follow Your Heart. Is there another one?
There's like the chow slices that we
Chow
like.
slices, but they don't have a melty one. But anyways, I'm sorry. So it's just like a liquefied version of that.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's another thing that I have not. So that's two things, and I've even had vegan chicken wings on a bone, but those are two things that
On a
I have
stick.
not seen imitated.
Yeah.
The Philly cheesesteak. I know people are doing that one, but
Yeah, that's really
the
exciting.
beef and cheddar. I just.
So
like,
was the menu?
Oh wait, sorry. Back to Seitan. Sorry, we're all over the place. There's Satan. Is it called Seitan?
I think it's called Seitan, right?
I call it Seitan, but like Satan like sounds
Satan?
cool
yeah,
too. You know, whatever.
for sure.
Yeah.
But it can be gross, and
it can. It can taste like a little.
We've given it to non-vegans, and they've been like, "This is the nastiest shit ever." And I've had pretty bad Seitan, but I've also had like incredibly good.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't think I make good Seitan. What's the trick? We have a lot of listeners that are vegan that are big cooks. Like, how do you make
Yeah,
Seitan
that's what
good?
I wanted to get at. Like, what is it? What do you?
I don't know if it's just like the seasoning or just like the
There's a
preparation
whole
of it.
process, so you have to like boil it.
Did you make it yourself, or?
Yeah, so I make it myself, and I make all the cheese myself. Well, I don't make it all myself because I just told you it was Follow Your Heart. But, you know, part of that I make. And then, like, all the sauces we make
Yeah.
ourselves, too, and
But
the
can you
Seitan.
walk us through Seitan? Because it's a powder.
Exactly.
You know, it's like a byproduct of like wheat flour.
Sure. So I'll give you, like, really super high levels. So
Okay.
pretty much, like, the main ingredient's the Vital Wheat gluten.
Yeah.
So what you're really doing is you're mixing all your dry ingredients together, and then you're taking all your wet ingredients and mixing that all together separately in a different bowl.
Okay.
You mix it all together, and you just kind of make a loaf out of it. It's almost like making bread. It's kind of that process. And then depending on what you're making, you're really just either baking it, or sometimes you're baking it, and then you're boiling it too.
Do you boil it?
I do boil some of it, yes.
For what? Like, what is boiling lend to? You
I feel
know?
like it just makes the texture a lot better, and then too, like when you're boiling it, like in different kind of seasonings, like the Reuben, like it really gets that like pickling season in there. So you're like, I think it just like lets it kind of soak in more, and it gives it a lot better flavor.
Now, when you're, I can like talk to you like off the record. It's probably not fun for other people to hear, but when you're boiling it,
No,
do
it
you
is.
boil it as the loaf, or do you need to be smaller like things when you're boiling?
Okay, so the roast beef, for example. So
Yeah.
what I do is I'll bake that for 45 minutes for about.
Then you boil after?
Then I boil it after.
That's what I never
Yeah.
did that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
boiled first and baked second.
Yeah,
So
so
you bake and then boil.
I bake and then boil.
Probably keeps it a little
Yeah.
less dry.
Yes.
Take notes,
I'm trying.
or let's go to your food truck.
Yeah. Okay. Is there anything? Is there anything you don't boil? Boiling's always like I never liked it. It was like a big process that I felt like I don't know. I wasn't good at making it. I can just be honest.
Yeah, for the gyro meat, I don't boil that, but the rest of them I do.
Is that because that's like a drier meat or the
Yeah,
opposite? I
it's a
don't
little
know.
bit. It's a little bit drier, but I feel like with the ingredients I put in there, it's like it's so overpowering. I don't.
You don't want it to be boiled.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And how did you come up with that? Was this trial by, like process of elimination, or?
Oh yeah, it was absolutely process of elimination. The cheesesteak took me probably like a year and a half to get down. I made so many
out of town.
Yeah, so I made so many crappy meats on like
such dedication.
Yeah, so over the weekends, like my weekend would depend on how great the thing I would make was. And like the person that was judging was Amber, my wife, and I would make these cheesesteaks and be like, "Okay, here you go. Taste it, tell me what you think." And she would eat and be like, "Oh, this tastes like shit." And I'd be like, "Oh god, my whole weekend's ruined."
You need an honest.
Oh my
you need an
gosh.
honest.
But she's honest, which is what I wanted. I don't want her to, blow smoke up my ass or anything.
Yeah.
But that's what I really needed. So the other thing I did too was, I don't know if I can show you guys this or not. I should show it to you guys. I mean, I know it's off camera and everything. But what I wanted her to do was, I mean, I know you guys are a little bit familiar with the pictures on my website. Yeah. But what I wanted her to do was, I took a picture of the first cheesesteak I ever made, okay? And I was like so super proud of this thing. And now I look at it and it looks like absolute shit. But this is it right there. And it does not...
That's the process.
It doesn't...
Let's see a new one.
That's what mine would look like if I was making like a real cheesesteak.
Let me see if I can...
That is being a bit ambitious to say you would make that.
Well, that's the thing is like... Is Amber, does she cook at all?
She cooks like a little bit, but what she does very well is that woman can bake her ass off. Like
I feel like that's a big thing that most people are cooks or they're bakers. Like I'm a terrible baker.
I cannot bake.
Would you say I'm a good baker?
No, not at all. You're not allowed in the kitchen.
No, I'm not. I'm like every day I go to work and people are like, "What are you eating?" And I'm like, "I don't know."
So there's the after now. Yes. Much better presentation.
You can see all these on Seitan's Realm Instagram.
Yes. You're gonna blow up so fast,
Absolutely.
man.
Oh, I don't know about all of that. Like I'm trying to. Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it's like this, and I'm assuming in a lot of cities, but maybe it's more like cultish here in Columbus because it's new. I don't know. I mean, you can talk about New York and LA; they're giant cities, but in the Midwest, like I don't know if cities are this progressive when it comes to vegan food, but I feel like everywhere you turn, there's a laundry list of places you can get brunch or dinner, or food trucks, and it's more of it. Didn't like Cameron Mitchell even just open up a place that has like a ton of vegetarian vegan options?
Cameron Mitchell's always been like not like vegan. They're vegan friendly.
Yeah, it's just a local big corporation. No, I think they just opened up something like
that.
That's
moved to
their
Lincoln
target
Social?
audience. That's what Amina said.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if anybody knows what's good for them, though, honestly, like I think vegan food, like going out to eat, like a food truck. I think food trucks are like perfect because it's like it's commitment, but it's not. Oh shit! If this doesn't work, it's the end of my life. It's like bankruptcy,
Yes.
It's like this is gonna be fun, but it's not the end. But
you're gonna attract a vegan audience, obviously, from like word of mouth in this little club we're in. But
the club is legit.
The club is
Speaking
absolutely
of that,
yes.
August 25th.
Yes. Oh yeah, it was just the start for this.
There's a Columbus Podcast Awards.
Okay.
And we're up for it.
Okay.
So we're
surprised Lisa didn't lead with this.
I know. We're getting a party bus. It's a Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah, and we're gonna go around before the awards. To all of like the awesome vegan spots and like get vegan stuff and get drunk on a party bus and then show up to the podcast awards with like just like a huge vegan entourage.
Yes, it's very excited.
Really
for this.
fun.
That sounds exciting.
ColumbusPodcastAwards.com.
Yes.
Do Lisa a favor and
please vote.
Go vote on there.
Do Jimmy a favor too.
It would be exciting, but. There's a lot of podcasts in Columbus too. We didn't realize either.
Yeah.
There's like 60 up, but we're in like an arts category with like 10 other podcasts. So
okay,
we're pushing that too. But
let's get back to inception.
I had a thought. Sorry.
Okay.
When I was saying like, so you got this vegan crew, but your truck, like if I walk by it, am I like that's a vegan truck?
Oh, right.
Probably
That's
not,
a good
right?
question.
Okay, so
I think it's a good thing.
Do you market to vegans or is it like, oh, by the way, this is vegan?
So I really struggled with that when I started. I was like, do I just blast that it's vegan on there, or do I let people kind of like let their curiosity run wild, let them come up and kind of decide on their own. So what I kind of wanted to be was for meat eaters, I want to kind of be like a gateway drug. Like, look, you can eat this. It's not
That's
really
a perfect way to put it.
that bad. Like come on over. Like you don't even have to do it all the time. You can do it once a week. Just to kind of get started. Let's get you kicked off. Let's start getting you addicted. That's kind of what I was going for.
That
That's
makes sense. 'Cause I
perfect.
think about the first time I saw the Little Kitchen food truck, which
Yeah.
I'm sure you're familiar with.
Little food. What is it? Is
Little
it
kitchen food truck.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're
She's,
crushing
oh
it.
my god,
Crazy.
hell yes.
But
yeah.
they're not blasted out like we're vegan. You know, it's just
Exactly.
like, oh, there's a food truck. Go up to it, and it's like bagel and lox. It doesn't even really say.
No,
like,
that's
Right.
funny because I went there with Amina
We
the
had to-
other
I was,
day,
like, asking,
and
like-
Amina asked. She was like, "Wait, is this vegan?" I was like, "I'm pretty sure."
But I think that's the way to go. To be honest, especially with the kind of stuff you're going to be making. Like,
Right.
It really is like,
That's your target audience.
yeah.
Exactly.
That's
You
how,
hit
that's
up
how
like
we win people over.
Comfest or like some of those festivals or whatever. Oh
Yeah.
my god! Like, could you imagine like drunk vegans eating? We're all gonna be fat.
Yeah, that's
Because
the
that's the thing, is,
problem. Yeah, we've always bragged that it's
We didn't
easy
have
to
the
stay
options, we
trim
couldn't eat
as a
it.
vegan, but now it's like,
You throw an Arby's sandwich at me? Are you kidding me? Like,
you gonna make some curly fries in there too.
You know what? So I started messing around with some curly fries a little bit,
Yeah.
but
do you have a fryer on your?
I do
truck?
have, yeah, I have 2
Oh.
fryers on there, so we'll definitely do
Okay.
fries. But curly fries are definitely probably like in the future a little bit. So
Yeah.
I've been trying to mess with it a little bit and not had very good results yet.
Yeah, you don't need Arby's filing lawsuits against you. Or anything.
I know, that's what I was worried about. I was like,
No.
man, should I say something about ripping off Arby's a little bit? Or not?
Curly fries are okay, but just like a nicely seasoned fry, like maybe like double fried, so they're like extra crispy.
You got
Yeah.
this figured out, huh?
I think
So that
that's
is exactly
legit.
what we're doing. So
Is
that's
double
cool.
frying?
We're absolutely double frying. Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say? Sorry, I cut you off.
The Inception. I want more about. The truck. Like, when did it come to fruition? When were you like, this is what I want to do?
Yeah. Really, I just started cooking. Like at the time I started doing it, there wasn't a ton of options like we talked about before. I think like How Now's was like, oh my god, this was like the best place ever
On Parsons.
on Parsons.
And they closed.
Yes.
Hal and Al's, and everything was fried.
Right.
Everything.
It was like
But that was like, we loved it.
yeah, it was like the junkiest and no one cared. It was
Yeah.
like, this is perfect. Like, where's this been all my
Oh
life?
At least
my
it's an
gosh.
OG Columbus
I've been
vegan.
there, yeah, like many a times. Hal and Al's is not. What is it now?
Okay, so this is like another shout out to another vegan place. So Village Taco is actually going to be going in there. So
Oh, really?
yeah, Village
That's
Taco is going to be going in there. I
amazing.
can't remember. We were just there this weekend for Mother's Day. I think
Are they a pop up now?
no.
Village
So
Taco?
he's got a store over in Alexandria, which is kind of like outside of like
Yeah.
Johnstown a little bit.
Yeah, I've heard
yeah,
that.
really small place, but we got some takeout there, and oh my god, like yeah, they kill
It's
it.
ridiculous.
It's oh my god, it's
they
so
did
good.
that pop up, or they had like a collaboration with Eden Burger, and I went there. Do you remember
Oh
that?
yeah,
Oh, that would be
and you
sick.
brought
And
home that.
the
Yeah.
burrito was like the size of my child.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
huge.
Yeah.
Literally,
Yeah, it was really
it's
good.
frightening. We ate it for like 3 days.
Yeah, but it was like really tasty food though. Sometimes when you get like, first of all, mass making of food is really hard. Like I think that I know how to cook food and stuff, but like I know how to cook food in my kitchen using my utensils, using like my
Sure.
stuff, But like
Yeah.
if someone was like, make that for 200 people, it wouldn't taste the same. So like mad props for like being ambitious and like going out there with a truck, because it's like a whole different ballgame. Like it's
Absolutely.
one thing to make really good food in your kitchen. It's another to make it for other people like on the street.
Yeah.
But Village Taco, I feel they don't skimp on like the tastiness of it.
Oh no, not at all.
And so like on top of that is that it's really hard to make like crazy food like that taste good. Like that was like a showstopper, like a wow factor. Like this is giant thing, but it wasn't like, oh, this is just crazy because it's big. It was like also really good. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Well, that's
Yeah.
that's the most important.
Yeah, and like the presentation too. Like that food looks.
It was like-
just
it was, like,
look,
marbled.
Yeah. It's like, oh my god, let me take like a picture of this hanging up on the wall. Like it looks beautiful. It's great.
I'm sorry. So you were at Hal and Al's. I totally messed up your story about the inception of your.
Oh yeah, the inception of the truck. Yeah, so going to Hal and Al's, and like I remember just hearing that it was closing and being like super devastated. Like, oh my god, where am I gonna get like
Yeah.
junk food at? So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna start making it myself. So it kind of started messing around with it a little bit, and it kind of just took off from there. Like my wife is Probably like my biggest critic, I would say. So
But probably
It's a good
also
thing.
your biggest fan.
biggest fan too. Yeah. So like it was really great because I knew like she would just straight up tell me if it sucked or not, and like which is what you really need when you're
a good
you
critic.
need somebody who's gonna say no, this sucks.
Yes.
So I just kept.
Jimmy's never been hard to tell me. He's never been shy to tell me he doesn't like something.
Really?
Yeah.
So,
Sorry.
so I really just started, messing around with different things. It probably took me about 3 years to get my menu together to where it is now. But I feel really solid on everything I'm
Isn't that
I'm
funny?
putting out.
It took you 3 years.
So you had this in the books, kind of. You're mastering things to the thought of someday I'll
Exactly.
put out this food.
Yeah.
I think that's so important though that it took you so long, because like not only like in food, like in the food realm and serving people and whatnot. And you said you worked in like a restaurant.
Yeah.
Like I think that a lot of people think it's just like, oh, like bada bing bada boom, like put some cute bar stools up and like you got a restaurant, you know.
Right.
But like taking your time and actually thinking about like the food you're making and like the layers of like flavors and how's this gonna like mesh with this and
Yeah.
I don't know, like your whole menu, it's like part of your like soul.
Oh yeah,
you know?
absolutely. Yeah, I put my total heart into that menu. Like spent
It's so important.
exactly.
Well, I think it's more than just so it's important to do that with any restaurant. But I think there's a bigger responsibility as a vegan food truck or something, because we're vegan beyond this shit tastes good, Like
Right.
we believe in something bigger environmentally and health and world. It's huge.
Exactly.
You put out shitty vegan food,
Yeah, it's kinda like-
you're ruining
yeah.
it. Like
Exactly.
Like I have people say like, oh, I've had a vegan seitan, it's disgusting.
it's
Or I have
gross.
vegan cheese,
Right.
it's disgusting. It's like, no, there's a lot of people putting some garbage out there, especially a long time ago. Like now, I think it's even more important to
do.
if you're going to be out there pushing
Your
this.
responsibility.
Exactly. Exactly.
It truly is, and people are winning people over left and right. But
Yeah.
it's got to taste good. If it tastes good, people will eat it.
Exactly. It definitely keeps you motivated, and it definitely amps the pressure up a lot too. Like you definitely want to I'm like I said, my wife's my biggest critic, but I'm probably my biggest critic, and like I want to make sure that you're super satisfied with what you're eating, and like I feel like I'm the best judge of that. So
For sure.
Yeah, for sure. Man, so into a truck though.
Yeah, into a truck. Like it was really scary at first. Like we got in the truck, and it's gonna be me, my wife Amber, and my mom's gonna be running cash.
Nice.
The first time all three of us got in there, we're like, "Oh my god, we can't fucking
So
move
small.
this thing." Yeah,
Yeah.
But I think we got a pretty good plan, like how we're gonna work everything. So I think
It's
it's
a
gonna
family
be pretty
business.
good. Yeah,
It's like my dream is Bob's Burgers. Like my dream is to like have a restaurant and then like live above
Live
it.
above
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
that'd be awesome.
And like have my kids work in it, like a family business.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Me.
the part about food trucks. So we can just talk about that for a minute. That blows my mind, because I worked in restaurants growing up
Sure.
a lot. It's just like you got to keep all that somewhere, Like
Right.
it's tight as it is, and then you have to have all this prep in that truck somewhere, and then you got generators, and like just trying to function in that small space has got to be insane.
Where do you buy a food truck?
So I got the food truck from this place over in Virginia. Like they,
Really?
yeah, like they customized food trucks, and they were pretty good. They were easy to deal with. They did the wrap and everything. So pretty much when I drove it off the lot, I could start serving stuff right away.
Wow.
So
Oh,
that was pretty nice.
So it
but-
wasn't like you bought some used jalopy and converted it or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, I gained so much respect for people that just have food trucks and really like their own business anyway. Like I didn't know like really how hard it was to start your own business. Like, I mean, I probably went through about 2 weeks of vacation time, just going through different kinds of inspections and things like that. Just before we even launched.
just to
like,
get
yeah,
all the
like I'd have to go
licensing
meet
and
an
stuff.
inspector for like the health department, and I'd have to go meet the fire department, and just kind of
yeah.
going through this and that, and like the health department passed no problems because I had a brand new truck. There's no issues with that.
Yeah.
The fire department had a little bit of issues with that, with like our piping that they had ran in Virginia. Like it passed in Virginia but wouldn't pass in Ohio.
Like
so-
gas lines and
gas
stuff.
lines and
Wow.
stuff. Yeah, so we got that all fixed, but still I had to take a day off to drop it off there, and I had to take another.
Yeah,
day
where do you
pick
take it
up
to go get your gas lines fixed?
Yeah, I had to go to
like a
gas
food truck
house.
mechanic.
Yeah,
or-
yeah. Like the
gas-
guy I worked with was awesome though, but yeah, there's
You
definitely
should do that.
yes.
You're super good at cars.
Yeah, I'm a car guy and a house guy. So
You should do food trucks.
yeah, just start a little food truck mechanic
There's
shop.
absolutely a market for it.
Yeah.
There is.
Well, I see some of these things and I'm like, you can tell a few of them were just kind of picked up,
Right.
maybe used that have failed business or just made up on their own. Or you see the food like carts too, like
Sure.
people just have trailers and stuff.
Yeah.
But I think your approach is smart. It sounds like you're you're confident you're investing in something. You got a new truck, like you said. And
Yeah.
like,
Well, we just were talking about
so
investing.
it's probably built for as much convenience as you can get out of something.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
that
We were
sort.
just talking about investing, and Jimmy was like my dad always says, like, oh, you can't invest with any emotion. And we were like, that's the opposite of what we do. Like,
Right.
we, like, literally, I feel like putting your financial dollars, putting your heart, putting your work, putting all of your stuff into something you believe in is the right thing to do.
Absolutely.
Not the wrong way to invest, you know?
Right.
So it's like, it's scary probably going into business with yourself, but it's also like I always say this, who else are you going to trust besides yourself? Who else are you going to invest in besides yourself?
Exactly.
You know? And if you don't trust yourself to be successful or do great things, then like you're not going to be successful.
Yeah.
That's
Exactly.
just it, you know?
Like, how'd you figure out like a battle plan for even like, probably it's going to be a growing process, but like, how do you like price things or like how much product do you buy?
Right.
Stuff like that. Like,
Yeah, so that's
gotta be the scary part.
Yeah, that's the scary part right now.
It'd be
So
like $75 for this Arby's sandwich. And you know what? People would pay it.
right. That was the thing I really struggled with was like, what do we price this stuff at? Because like I know like when you go buy vegan, it's always a little bit more expensive, but we're always more willing to pay for it
Right.
though
Yeah.
too.
But
So
you want it to be accessible.
And
Exactly.
the products are expensive to buy.
Exactly. Yeah, and like I think a lot of people have like a bad misconception about food trucks too, because I mean I think a lot of people are like, oh, what's a food truck? So they don't have like tons of overhead, but man, I still got the same overhead. Like I'm still like paying people to help me out. Like I got insurance, I got to drive around, like I
Yeah.
use the gas. Like I have like a ton of overhead
generators
too.
running
Yeah,
and
I'm just
stuff.
not. And then I make almost everything by hand anyway.
Right.
So like
and it's you.
Yeah,
right?
it's
like
me.
it's
Just
you.
straight up
Absolutely.
manpower
Yes.
and time.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But I think our prices are pretty fair and everything. So
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you probably figure that out as you go along too,
Yeah, and like what I did too is I kind of looked like across the country too, like looking at different places. Like, okay, I got a cheesesteak. Like this place in like Philadelphia's got a cheesesteak too that's vegan. Like,
Oh,
what are
really?
they charging? Yeah, what does this
Where's
look
it
like?
at?
It's Blackbird Pizza in Philadelphia. Like they have a cheesesteak over there. Like I've heard it's phenomenal. I've never eaten it
Okay.
before,
All right.
but I've heard it's really great.
We're going there soon.
We we tried to go there. My wife's dad is from Philly, so we go there
Really?
we go there probably like I'd say probably 2-3 times a year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Isn't-
well, the last time we tried to go there, like it was actually closed because they were doing like renovations or something. But I was bummed out that we didn't get to eat it.
My sister lives in Philadelphia.
Right.
Well, across the bridge. They live in Jersey now, but she
Okay.
was in Philly. But it's,
It's like a hop,
It's a
skip, and a
bridge, yeah.
jump away.
but that's cool. I have to look out for that. But it's funny. I grew up in upstate New York, and that's a place where even so up in the country, like I don't know how would I compare it to a city in Ohio, but like.
It's like its own thing.
Yeah, like 2 hours from New York City. It's country. It's not New York, but even these little towns are.
They have vegan
like
options.
there's a local pizza shop that like just buys bags of Daya and they'll throw it out of pizza. Like
Yes.
there's enough people calling up in all these little spots.
It's so fun as a vegan that started when that wasn't available. That like not that where you're from is Podunkville,
Oh, it
but
is.
like some like little small town that's unassuming that you would not think for a million years would have any vegan options are like, oh, we know what this is,
Yeah.
Think that, baby? All right. So first we want to talk about what did you just say besides
We just had a baby break.
Yeah. No, the first thing, not the second thing. The before inspiration. Literally, I have like the worst memory in the world.
I think we all do right now.
Yeah. Well, no, then we'll jump in with the second thing that I
Okay.
remember. So
Yes.
you mentioned how big chains are coming up with vegan options and how exciting that is for a lot of people. But there's also a lot of controversy around that because a lot of vegans are like, hey, I'm not down with that. How do you feel about that?
I definitely have mixed emotions on it because I love, it's a busy night. We have kids. Sometimes it's not the easiest thing to do, like to sit and cook a meal for an hour. So sometimes it's cool to be like, hey, let's just go drive through the White Castle drive-through and get
So do you like the White Castle?
I love it.
Oh, it's
I
good.
absolutely have a bad addiction with it right now.
But isn't it like it's funny because like when we've got it, and like I don't know about you, but like I try to like cook really healthy and stuff. Like that's That's like my thing.
Okay.
But when we got the White Castle, I was like, oh, this is like really good. But I felt like the fast food like guilt almost.
Yeah, well,
you know?
it's a real thing.
Yeah, like I was like, ugh, that's not like that wasn't a salad.
Yeah,
I
well,
just
sometimes
ate.
Exactly.
You know,
sometimes I drink 10 beers and I wake up and I'm like, ooh,
that wasn't great.
it was great. Well, I did it, but I knew it was coming.
Yeah. So there's pros and cons.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's definitely pros and cons to it, but it's nice that it's kind of a convenience thing. But then too, I saw something online the other day where it's like, oh, we ran out of Impossible Burgers. Blame Burger King on it because they're starting to do this Whopper now, and like we were here first, and I get that part of it too.
Yeah.
So I'm really
interesting.
conflicted on it, honestly. Because it's like, yeah, cool, I'm gonna go support White Castle, but it's like, but they're not. Like I'm just like a little
Yeah.
small, tiny portion, and they're just trying to get my money, kind of thing. Where
Right.
Well, that's what it is, though. At
It
the
is
end of the day,
consumerism.
it's profit driven. So if you say,
But isn't that cool?
Exactly.
The
So
vegans
if
are
you s-
changing the
yeah,
profit
it
of
is.
this.
if you say fuck you White Castle or fuck you Pizza Hut, you kill this or you do that, then they don't really care.
No,
if
they just
everyone
care
was
about their
vegan,
money.
they'd be selling vegan stuff.
Right.
So
Yeah.
like you are helping them see something differently by putting it out there. And then at the same time, they have to put these huge signs up on their marquee and in their windows saying like, we have this plant-based burger. And then other people, especially where we live,
Yeah,
we
this
live
is the hood. I don't know
Yeah.
if you traveled through the hood to get here.
I did travel through the hood to get here.
If
Yes.
you're from Columbus, the west side.
Yeah.
It's
It
not-
can be a little questionable. And our White Castle is, in the thick of it.
Yeah.
But, they have to put this huge sign up. And people who would probably never be exposed to vegan food are like, a what? Like
Yeah,
a
what does that
plant-based
even mean?
burger? So, like, I think there's way more benefits to it than than the negative. But there are people that are very concerned that are supporting these terrible companies.
Well, it's
that-
funny because someone the other day put on the Facebook, Kat, our friend, went to go. He got an Impossible Burger for
He's
the first time.
he's
Okay.
the biggest Satan hater in the world.
He does. He thinks it tastes like monkey brains. Probably because he's
We're gonna
only
bring
had
him
mine.
to your truck
Yes,
with you. The
please
first time
do.
we come to your truck, he will be with us. And
Okay.
He is the biggest Satan hater.
Yeah.
Well, Satan.
Anyways,
He likes Jesus too.
but he got an Impossible Burger and he was like blown away.
Okay.
And he like posted about it on the Facebook.
It's
but he
Facebooking
also
people and calling people.
Yeah, he did. He also like posts if he like flosses teeth or something. Like he's very vocal on the Facebook. But he like his friends who are like diehard vegans wrote like, oh, that's so great. And then like, did you know like one of them wrote that was like, oh, my wife, it's too much for my wife. It's too much like the real thing. She hasn't had it in so long that
That's
she
another
couldn't handle
topic
it.
I wanted to bring
Isn't
up
that
a little
weird?
bit. Actually,
Yeah.
is getting
Not weird,
really
but
good
it
at meatiness. Where
Right.
like I don't know how your food is, but
You strive for that. but
like,
then,
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
oh my gosh,
Lisa can
too
make
much,
a
Right.
you know?
really badass veggie burger that is amazing, but there's no
Doesn't taste
resemblance to
anything.
meat.
Right.
But then when I suck down
weird.
a Beyond Beef burger, like
It tastes like
that's
meat.
that's meat, and that's to me. And I'm 3 years in,
Okay.
but I was full blown. Like I ate it all.
Into
I
meat.
wasn't a steak guy, but I love my burgers and chicken and sandwiches and all this stuff and
I
Arby's
just
and
for, like
fast
we're like
food
setting
and,
down the ground rules. I became a vegetarian in the 5th grade
Oh, okay. Nice.
and became a vegan. I don't know, like a long time ago. I don't know the date.
Yeah,
It wasn't
I don't
like
know
a-
it either.
Wasn't like a set thing.
I do.
I'm 8 years sober today.
I know because it was a Buffalo Bills Jets football game. I'm a Bills fan from
Oh, for
upstate New
you,
York.
yeah.
We had my friends over, and I was like, I watched Cowspiracy. So I was like hung over on the couch, and I was like,
The day before, and it was
was
a
like,
football Sunday. That's
Cowspiracy.
right.
I was like, Lisa loves cows.
I do.
And I was like, conspiracy. It's like, I love conspiracies. And I teach government and politics. So I started watching it. It was all about.
Have you seen
the,
Cowspiracy?
I've seen Cowspiracy
Like
before.
pretty good.
the
Yeah, it
angle,
is good.
Like, I was hooked in. Like I like the What the Health and the other ones now that I'm vegan. But that drew me in because of the political aspects of it. All the lobbying that goes
Yeah.
on and the politicking that goes on with these big corporations. So I was hooked on that.
Yeah.
But as that happened, I just remember texting her like,
Do you know about this?
Yeah, I was like, have you heard about this? And she's like, yeah, I've been vegan my whole life. And I was like, I don't know if I want to eat meat anymore. But then
Do
the next
you know
day,
that cows are fed
Yeah.
antibiotics? Yeah.
I was a little mad actually. I was like, why didn't you fucking tell me this shit? Have you been cooking me this?
I know.
But Lisa was very humble vegan, and today it's easier to be.
Well, so you became a vegan how long ago?
About 8 years ago.
Yeah.
You were
So
you were
you're
before it was
kind
like
of.
a health environmental thing. Like, was it an animal thing for you at all?
Well, you said what
If
the
it was
health
8 years ago.
or Forks Over Knives.
Forks Over Knives is what really got me. Yeah.
That's health, right?
Yeah, definitely
Is that
for.
that old? 8 years?
Yeah.
I think it might even be older than that, honestly.
Wow.
Like
Yeah.
I don't even know how.
Forks Over Knives was like the first
So
documentary.
that was pre-cowspiracy
Yes.
and all that stuff.
Yeah, I just remember watching it and just like completely like blowing my mind. Like I was like, oh my god, like
You probably
And
had.
was it
Did
the
you like
health-
rent the DVD? It probably wasn't on Netflix.
No, it was on Netflix.
Oh,
That's where I saw it. Yeah, I was like, what the hell is this? Like, we just turned it on because we were bored one night and we were both like, holy shit. And it was like totally like mind blowing. Yeah, it was crazy.
And okay, so health wise, you became a vegan. Did you feel any health effects?
I definitely felt a lot faster. Like I definitely didn't feel like I was so like bogged down and just like so like tired all the time. I mean, I definitely, I feel that now, but I've got a lot of stuff going on and everything, like everybody else does. But still, like I feel like I have a lot more energy.
Yeah.
The energy is absolutely there. I
That's
feel a lot better.
awesome.
Yeah, health wise, I feel great. Just the energy's there.
So how old are you? I can ask.
Right now, I am 38 years old.
38.
Yes.
And like
38 Club.
Yes. All right here.
38.
But like, so like 38. I have friends that are like in their 30s.
Do you know we're the first millennials?
But you're not.
Well, I think yeah.
In 1981.
I have yeah. Like I'm 1980.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Oh, that
So-
puts you right before.
So I'm right
You're in the
there.
cusp.
I'm in the cusp.
What are you then?
So
End of X or
I'm definitely like the end
You're a
of
leap
X.
year?
But
What
like
are you?
it's really weird because like I kind of like feel both parts of it though. So I kind of get where the millennials come from, and I kind of get where like the Gen Xers come from too.
Oh,
So it's kind of
do
like
you FaceTime people?
I
Because that's all millennials do.
I do
that's
not
I think
FaceTime
that's a
people.
new one. Is
No.
Is
All
Amina a millennial?
millennials, like,
no, isn't there a new gen? What's after millennial?
I don't know, but every time Amanda wants to talk, she FaceTimes
But she's
me.
not a millennial.
I don't know what
She's
she
a
is.
kid. Sorry, I just keep busting balls with people at work. 'Cause I'm like, I just found this out, and I'm like, oh, I'm not a millennial, but I am actually the godfather of millennials. I am your leader. I didn't know
I
this.
am your leader.
Like, we're gonna need to see some mustaches. We're gonna need to see some. But anyways, I don't know why. Sorry.
I don't know.
You
what
asked him
we
how
were
old he
talking about.
was.
Oh, okay. So, but you're 38. I don't like know how you feel on the inside, but you look young. You look vibrant. I think that like the majority of people that I know that are in their 30s and to late 30s, they're like already starting to feel like, oh, when I wake up in the morning, my knees hurt and my elbows hurt, and it takes me a long time to get out of bed and stuff. But it's just like I feel like vegans like don't notice that, and then they just like keep on living, keep on like going, and it's like it's just they don't notice the aging of it, I guess. Do you know what I mean?
I get I definitely get where you're coming from. I definitely feel like a little aches and pains here and there,
I mean, it's like it's gonna happen,
Right, exactly. But I mean, I feel like if I'm outside throwing the football with my son for like 45 minutes, it feels like my right arm's gonna fall off the next day. But I mean, that's
Everyone.
expected.
Yeah.
That's everybody. But
I
yeah,
felt like that when I was 10.
Right.
Salad won't fix that.
Yeah, no.
no, definitely not. But yeah, I definitely feel. I mean, I feel completely healthy. I feel really great.
Well, Lisa's parents should be on like a commercial if there was a vegan commercial because how old's your mom? 69?
She's 102.
She's like
No, she's about to be 70.
she's about to be 70 and you wouldn't guess her past her 50s.
She's
and
little Jane Fonda.
And her father, and they've both been vegan forever. And
Yeah.
it's fat like that. When I see them, I'm like,
That's,
there's
like,
no
what seals the deal,
way
Yeah.
I would
you know?
ever be
Definitely.
anything but this because I want to live that long.
Yeah.
But I don't want to live that long I don't want to be an old person. Like your mom is 70 and not an old person. That's
what, like
insane.
that's the goal, right? Yeah,
Right.
it's like I'm gonna be 70, but I don't want to look like every other 70-year-old. I
Or
want to
feel
look
like every other
right.
70-year-old.
And
Yeah,
then, like
exactly.
I do think that people who aren't vegan, they don't feel as great. You know,
Like your mom like hurt her shoulder like
Yeah.
reaching back in the car and she's like I gotta go to the doctor blah blah blah, blah. Normal 70-year-old would be like oh there goes the shoulder. like you just like you're like that's it like but your mom's like she feels so good that she strained her
notices.
shoulder and she's going to like physical therapy. I don't think a 70-year-old would typically do that. They just like chalk that up to that's the shoulders.
my mom. Do you know that when she turned 50, she jumped off the high dive?
Oh.
That was like her thing.
It's a badass.
She's just crazy. She's original. Linda Orenchuk. Ever heard of her? She's like a thing. She's
Okay.
Most Columbus people
Like,
have.
literally,
She's
honest
like
to
an
God.
animal rights activist. So.
Okay,
Well,
awesome.
yeah, that's what I asked.
there's like a group of I'm just like talking off the cuff now, but there is like a group of vegan animal. They're not vegan. They're animal rights activists. They're all vegan, but like
OG.
they start as animal rights activists that I grew up with. So my mom's one of them, but there's like a hardcore group of them that they just, I don't know, like they paved the way. I don't even think I pay homage to them as much as I should. Like
You should.
Peggy Kaplan, she's fucking like, she was on the cover of Time magazine.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, she was on the cover of
She's
Time
She's
magazine.
the redhead?
No.
She's a Columbus person, right?
I
I
don't
see
think
these
she's met
people and like, we'll
Peggy.
just be out and they'll be like, you're
Yeah.
Linda Orenchuk's daughter, aren't you?
Yes. Yes. No. Oh my God. No. Peggy's like legit. Okay. Peggy Kaplan, Richie. Oh my God. I can't like Richie. If anybody like old school is listening to this, they'd be dying. Like I'm sorry, I can't. But there's just this group. Bill Long.
Just
Bill
saying
Long
first
is
names.
Bill Long is my mom's
Yeah.
boyfriend. That we always joked about that, but he won the national championship with OSU in like '79 or something.
Oh, yeah, you've talked about that. We've heard of Mercy for Animals,
Sorry.
right?
Nathan
Yeah.
Runkle was a
Do-
part of this.
do
Do
you
you know
know
Nathan
Nathan
Runkle?
Runkle?
I didn't know.
I don't know. He started
Unfortunately, I
Mercy
don't.
for Animals.
And
Okay,
he's,
that's
he's-
awesome.
He's just an old school Columbus kid.
Yeah.
Her age. So you're.
This is this
5
group.
years younger.
This group is what I grew up in, and it was like, why should you be vegan? And they were like, well, listen to this, and I was like, oh my God, they were my cowspiracy, I guess. I'm sorry. This
No,
is
that's
what I'm
awesome.
getting
Yeah,
at. Like,
I get where
they
you're
were
going.
like
Yeah.
my inspiration.
It's weird. Yeah, because by the time I met you, like, you were
I was
just-
full-blown.
I guess we might be like this too. You're 8 years. I'm only 3 years, but I think when you get so into it, like you.
Second nature.
Yeah, like I was like mad that you weren't telling me about like the health.
But it's like someone coming to you and being like, "Why do you brush your teeth?" And I was like, "Well, I could tell you the host of like positive effects of brushing your teeth, but I do it every day, and I'm not going to tell you why." You know?
Yeah, no,
like
that
that's
makes sense.
it. Like it's going to
But
happen.
You were a weirdo in like a carnivore world, but now I guess you've probably experienced. If you did 8 years, like you've
Yeah.
probably been a weirdo, and now it's fairly normal.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I was like a weirdo. I mean, I still get crap like at work
Do
every
you?
single day. Oh, yeah. Like
Oh,
it's always still there. Yeah, I definitely get a lot of grief for being vegan, but it's more accepted now than it was like when I first started.
Don't you
Yeah.
think those people that are like giving you grief, they're also the most curious? I feel.
They absolutely are. Yeah, there's a guy that I work with. When I was first telling him about the food truck and everything, I think he thought, I was like full of shit, or we were gonna just like just hand out salads to everybody. And I was like, dude, look what I've been working on. He's like, holy shit, I would
Yeah.
eat that. And I'm like, yes, like you're the
You
guy I
would.
want. Yeah, like I want you to
Yeah.
come. Yeah, like yeah, absolutely. Like yeah, the guys that really like dish it out, the girls really dish it out. Like yeah, they're the ones that are like super curious and ask lots of questions. 'cause-
Yeah, when they
That's
don't
perfect.
they don't know, especially like you were saying at the beginning of this episode, like that jock mentality. Like,
Yeah.
I talk about that all the time. We were just talking about this last episode. There's not a lot of dudes that are vegans, but there's this like. I was always just, you had these stupid little, like, oh, God wouldn't have made him out of meat if we didn't want to eat him. just the dumbest things
Right.
ever. But it's just, when you sit down and think about it, but for me, it just took like seeing like, oh, that's really good. That looks really good.
Right.
Yeah.
I think a lot of that too, just like as being a male and being vegan, is just like being really just like confident in yourself and who you are too. Like, I mean, you can just
Yeah.
deal with, taking shit from other guys or whatever, like
we're just talking about this on our last podcast, that it's weak to like that like mentality of like, oh, what I eat is like inferior. That's stupid.
right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like,
it is.
it tasty? Does it fulfill you? Is it giving you all like the nutrients you need? Okay, done.
Right.
Really, like you need it to be meat to fulfill those
Yeah.
categories? Like that's stupid. You
Yeah.
know?
I'm not judgmental of people, especially for their
I'm
weight.
so
but when
judgmental.
when I'm busting balls,
kidding.
like locker room talk with the guys I work with, and they're like, "Oh, you should have a steak," and I'm like, "You're 250 pounds." Like I'll throw that out there all the
Yeah,
time.
let me
Like,
take some
let's-
advice. Right.
Let's fucking take some shirts off, and we'll see who should be eating meat.
Yeah.
But I also work with a carnivore who's like an Olympian. That doesn't help with him.
Ooh.
Dan Ritchie.
Oh.
Like literally. It doesn't work with everybody, but most people in their 40s and 50s, like that's my big sell is like, listen, guys, I'm not, trim. You don't have to be buff or anything.
Don't sell your. I told you that this morning that was my new gimmick. I was gonna start selling you sexually. Don't sell yourself short.
Saying people in their 30s and 40s want to be trim.
Yeah.
It for feel wise, but you want to look good, but more you want to feel good. And I think this is the easiest thing to do it on. I mean, I can eat beef and cheddars,
right?
Hopefully,
I had a half a bar of chocolate before you guys came back. I'm in
I just feel like we can get away with more. Like I can eat bagels in the morning and vegan pizza, and I don't do it all the time, but I do it enough that if it wasn't vegan, I think that I would weigh more. I did.
Did you lose a lot of weight when you went vegan?
I lost 25 pounds.
Okay,
probably pretty much all from veganism.
He was a chunker.
I was definitely about $185, and I dropped down to about 160, and I maintained it the whole time too.
Without trying
diligent,
to,
right? Like, don't you just like eat and not kind of worry about it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I'm definitely like a junk food vegan. Like, I mean, I mean.
Oh well, that's good though, because like we are like super healthy.
Yeah.
And it's almost annoying, but like as like a junk food vegan, like is it hard to maintain your weight? Do you feel like
we're weekend junk food vegans?
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't get us wrong.
Oh no, we eat bad food.
Yeah.
I just had a half a chocolate bar. Like, let's be serious. Sorry.
I do a lot of fasting. Like usually like while I'm at
do
work.
Do you do the intermittent fasting?
So like
what's it called?
Monday through Friday, like I don't eat breakfast and I don't eat lunch. I'm like just straight up a dinner guy.
Really?
I eat dinner and like that's all I eat. Yeah. Then on the weekend it's just like game on. Like we're eating everything. Yeah.
Is that by choice or is that just like I don't get hungry till then?
Are you busy?
Yeah. Like at work I'm usually pretty busy, so it usually like keeps me pretty preoccupied.
Anything till dinner?
I just sit and I'll drink coffee and I drink water until dinner time.
Do you?
I was doing that once a week.
Right. Well, those were allergies, right?
Yeah, it actually helped. I'm gonna try this.
You should try intermittent. What is it?
Mitten. I don't think there's
like a mitten, like a glove mitten.
Sure, it's called fasting.
Okay, whatever.
Periodic fasting.
Was that like by choice or was that just like I'm not hungry, I'm just not gonna eat?
Yeah, it was like I'm so busy at work. I'm like I don't have time to think about eating right now, and like then I just didn't have any time at all. And then like I started kind of getting used to it. So like at first when I first started doing it though, I definitely felt like crap. Like
really?
Oh yeah, like I definitely get like lightheaded and stuff,
woozy,
and like that like jittery feeling you get like when you haven't eaten. Like I got like the little bit of the shakes, but I think my body just kind of got used to it. And
your body does adapt.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a lot of literature out there that's really healthy to do that.
I did. The Skinny Bitch is a book. Okay. I swear to God, it's a book. They're vegan too. I think it's like called Skinny Bitch. I think
I saw that laying
but
around.
It's like a pretty common book. But they always said, don't eat until you're hungry in the morning. And honest to God, like it takes a while before you wake up in the morning to be hungry.
Yeah, because we're trained the opposite. Like get something in you.
Yeah.
As soon as you wake up, so you can get through your day.
But that's also very much like not cyclical, but that's like the school schedule, like you eat before you go into school because you're going to be at school all day and you need to eat before your classes and stuff. So it's like,
well, I'm a teacher. Not everyone's a teacher.
Yeah, but even like kids like grow up with that as it like in their school.
That's something you've been trained to do. Yeah. From the beginning. That makes sense. Yeah. I like that. I'm going to try that. I was trying it once a day because I read an article that it was good for allergies, and I have terrible allergies. Like I'm allergic to this dog and everything else in the world.
Okay. All right. Well, okay. I can't think of what my other question was.
Why can I not think of it? No, I'm like sitting here trying to think of it. It was a really good question too.
A good question.
About before the how'd you get here thing?
No. Oh, like.
Let's talk about what's next. You're not a food truck yet.
Right.
No.
How's
You're
this
about to be.
happening? Like,
Where
how
can
does
we
this
where can we find you?
How
Yeah.
does this all unfold?
So-
And like I'm not gonna lie, so like when Tofu Louie did our podcast, he brought us some.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just
I
kidding.
knew I should have brought something over.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding. You just give it to us for free the next time we
Yeah.
see you. No, I'm just
Exactly.
At
Exactly.
least it's really working.
I'll pay it back.
kidding. No, I'm like 100% kidding. But anyways, where can we find you?
Okay, so it's May 18th, Virtue Vegan Salon. We will be there.
Is that okay? What day of the week is that?
That is on Saturday.
Saturday. Oh, so you're gonna be there for the Clintonville Farmers Market.
Yeah, I think.
Oh, that
I
shit
think
is
it kind
bonkers.
of. I think it kind of bleeds over into that. Absolutely.
It's right there.
Yeah.
It's like 100% right there.
Yeah.
I just went there the other weekend, so you're gonna be busy.
Okay, so we're gonna be there from 11 to 3, or 11 until the food runs out.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Oh
Yeah.
my god,
It's
that's
exciting.
so exciting.
Yes, it's super
So
exciting.
just get all those Arby's sandwiches. Just put them in foil.
Yeah,
like,
that's got to be difficult to
wrap
think
'em
about.
up.
So is that gonna be the first time you're making food off the truck?
Absolutely.
For customers?
Yes, it'll be like the very first time. So like
Oh,
try
man.
to be a little bit patient with us. Like
No,
I have like
it's
this
gonna be
bonkers
fine.
thing in my head where it's like, okay, we're fast food. We gotta bust this out in like
Yeah.
3 minutes. Like let's go. And my wife's like, dude, just chill out, man. Like we're gonna
Yeah.
get this thing together. Like people will wait. It's all good. So
Yeah, and
just-
you know what, your audience is like.
You
People want good vegan food, and they're willing to wait for it. I also remember like waiting.
They
for,
are willing to wait.
Yeah.
Waited for a bagel,
No big
for a
deal.
lox bagel from the little kitchen food truck.
Yeah.
And I don't know how long they've been around, but I waited for a while and I wasn't mad at all. And then
Yeah.
the next time I went, it was there in like 2 seconds. So I don't know if it was just timing,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, like when you eat it, that's what's important. You know?
Yeah.
It's really what's important.
Yeah,
It is.
definitely.
It is funny. Okay, so like this is not advice, but like this is just this is what's coming to me to talk about right now. But
Okay.
like Jimmy and I started flipping homes, and there like going into flipping homes, we thought we knew it all, right?
Right.
And then we started flipping homes, and we're like, we don't know shit.
Right.
And then like since we've done a little bit, we're like, wow, we know so much more than what we did when we started. But like we're still newbies. We're still like fresh into this. But we've gained so much knowledge. But it's fun to know that like you're like embarking on this adventure, you know?
Yeah,
and it's like
absolutely.
even if this goes to shit in 10, 20 years or whatever, like you could be looking back and being like, I tried it. I did something. I did it. You know, like
Right.
that's all that really matters. And even if it, like our flipping thing,
That's
if it
great.
works or if it doesn't work, it's like I tried.
Exactly.
That's all. Like you can lay your head on the pillow saying like I tried. That's it.
Exactly. Yeah, because I did like that was the one thing I didn't want to do is lay my head on the pillow while I'm dying and going, why didn't I try that?
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
Especially when you just have that itch in the back of your head.
Yeah.
You know.
I would always have that what if I didn't do it. So at least I put myself
Yeah.
out
Go
there
for
and I
it.
can say
I'm sure you've
I went
studied
for it.
this, and not that you have to give any details, but like, have you talked to are these trucks like successful? Not like you're gonna be a millionaire, but like, do food trucks make like restaurant type like money?
So like
Yeah.
so like the really successful ones, I can tell you this. So they usually start about March. Weather starts turning a little bit.
Yeah.
Usually lasts till about November, and they're not working till the next March.
Right.
So
Oh,
like
yeah, I
they're
didn't
definitely
think about
taking some
that.
time off and like
Yeah.
still living and everything. So it's kind of like you kind of being a teacher, but instead of being off in the summer, where it's really awesome, you're off in the winter, which is still kind of cool. But
Yeah.
it's
think of
still
it like
to work
that.
outside. And
Yeah,
stuff.
definitely.
Yeah, and that could be like a pop up thing too. Probably like I know like Tofu Louie has.
Oh, in the
he
the
has-
winter, yeah,
he
you
has
like
no
caters
physical
and
space,
stuff.
but he's out always doing something. And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
But just like
getting
what
people
you're
to
gonna
show 'em.
gain, you're gonna go to Virtue on the May 18th,
It's just
and
like
you're gonna come back and you're gonna be like, that was exhilarating, that was fun, that was crazy. I learned so much, I
Yeah.
did so much. Like it's gonna be like mind blowing, but it's all gonna be great. You know? Like,
Definitely. Yeah, I've learned so much already just like starting it and like, I was telling you guys before, like just gaining like so much respect, like no matter what you do, just like out of like business owners, like all the stuff they had to go through just to get there. Like even if
Yeah.
it sucked or it failed or it was a huge success, like they all went through the same thing. So it's really like gave me like a different like perspective on any kind of business.
Do you
That's
plan
great.
on any like you probably don't have any yet, but you're looking for just like reoccurring places type of thing?
Yeah,
Or
so
right
so
now you're
we
just feeling
do
it out?
so we do have a recurring thing going with Virtue right now. So we're
great.
going to be there every Saturday from 11 to 3. So like
wow.
that
Oh, nice.
that for us right now is huge, because it's
That's like
It
a
is.
salon, right?
yeah, Virtue Salon. It's
There's
over on
a
High
vegan
Street.
salon.
Vegan
They're, like they
salon.
have like that, like they're all vegan. Yeah, they're pretty cool. I'm gonna get my hair cut there, but I can't really afford it. It's really expensive. But actually, I can't afford like first clips either. So.
Maybe you could get them on the podcast and they can cut
Yeah,
your
there
hair.
we go. Yeah,
Please
get something
give me-
going with Virtue.
Please cut my hair for free. But like a lot of the salons around Columbus are all like they all do like vegan stuff, and they're all everything. It's just the upkeep for females is expensive. It's fine.
Well, it sounds
Sorry.
pretty sweet. I'm excited, but
Yes. Well, is there any lasting words you want to tell Columbus? This is
Yeah, just thanks for all the support, and we hope to see everybody on May 18th at Virtue Salon. And yeah, thanks again, and we'll definitely make sure we make a ton of those beef and cheddars for you.
yeah,
Beef
I'll
and
be
cheddar.
honest. Like, we try to reach out to people, but like sometimes it's like, this, that, those pictures, and just your whole
they
branding.
speak for themselves.
Like I was excited, and I was like, how cool would it be to get these guys on the pod? I didn't even know who you could have been. 20 women walking up. You could have been like a
20 women.
15-year-old kid. I didn't know who was coming. I just knew there was a sweet truck, and I was like, I would love to talk to like this truck. I think the Satan's Realm thing is a really good branding. It's attention getting, and
Yes.
the Instagram looks amazing. So
Wow.
we're excited that
So
we got to talk to you.
follow Satan's Realm. It's like Satan, not spelled like Satan, but spelled like Seitan.
How do you say it? SIE?
SEITIAN or TAN?
It's SEITANS.
Yes, I wasn't good at spelling. But anyways, follow them on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram. Follow us on Podbeam or iTunes. Or
No, more importantly, Columbus Podcast Awards.
Oh, right. More importantly, please vote for us for Columbus Podcast Awards. And please email us if you want to come on the party bus. It's like we've got some hitters, all right?
Yeah.
Like we've got some heavy hitters already on the bus.
I hope you and Amber
No,
takes
please.
2 seats.
Okay,
We're
yeah,
filling
Get a
them up.
absolutely.
babysitter.
Okay, we can do that.
And like my like dream, like I'm gonna like, okay, like
Lisa's
I
gonna get out
don't,
with like a feather boa.
I don't plan on winning this
We're gonna
award,
have
but I'm
fans blowing on her.
100% showing up like I'm like something, you
Yeah,
know? Like yeah, I'm
absolutely.
gonna get like a ball gown,
like
I
Cardi
don't-
B at the Grammys.
Yeah,
Awesome.
not the Grammys, the Met Ball.
Oh, okay.
That's my outfit basically. And like I'm gonna show up with like a ton of people, and like I just want the podcast awards to be like this. I want it to be like a librarian, like sitting there and be like, what? This is not what I thought this was. Anyways, vote, follow us, email us if you want to be on the party bus.
Please meet me at
Go to
gmail.com.
May 18th. May 18th, Virtue Salon. It's on High Street. It's like a Saturday, so that's just the Clintonville Farmers Market. And
Absolutely.
that farmers market is popping.
Heck yeah, it is.
Have you been there?
Yeah,
It's-
definitely.
It's insane.
Yeah,
it's
it's
crazy.
It's really good.
Yeah.
And that's
We'll be there, so hopefully we'll see some people. See you guys eat your food.
Yeah.
for sure.
That'd be awesome.
There.
Awesome. Thanks for being here, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Good night.